talk with this old fool before I...
All my work gone. Damn it all! But at least we're still alive. Once again, I triumph over death itself. I won't be talked to like that by an assistant. Why, I ought to... I mean, I ought to watch what I say and offer any assistance required by the large, heavily armed people who outnumber me. So we're going to Alabastra, then. Speaking of not killing me, I want you to have this talisman. It's something I salvaged from my well, and it might just help you in Alabastra. No, of course. You're looking for a way past the sentinel of the House of Pride, and you came to the right gnome. See, it's all because of Calistren, the defender of pride. In his house, no one can stand before him. None can even approach, unless you have my little secret. Patience, patience. You'll have it soon enough. I'm going to have to dig it out of the rubble of the tower. Go to the field of Huber, and I'll meet you there. And if you value your life, do not approach Dren. Just go to the field of Huber and wait for me. I'll meet you down there once I can find this damned essence. I know the type. Lucky youth, peaked early, then crawled into a bottle and waited to die. I'm impressed you dragged him away from that bottle, but I wouldn't expect him to do any heavy thinking. You mean your deadly little shadow? I know her type. All smiles now, but it's just so she can get close enough to stick her knives in you. After an unfortunate incident with the Templars, Octian decided to move my work someplace a little further from the public eye. We both felt that an island in another land behind the front lines of a war might just be far enough from prying eyes. Dren, defender of pride, one of twin defenders, quite powerful in their homes. But did you know they were also entirely immune to each other's powers? And it seems the defender of valor quite disappeared when her house fell. Imagine how useful she would have been if she were here today. Simple bone soldiers, easy enough for any decent mage to build and animate. They're not really alive any more than a puppet is. Gadflow's got an empire built on Prisma. Think of all the power he's sitting on. And he's wasting it on swords and bows. Arrogant fools, all of them. At least we could sneak past them when they were overconfident. Now that the army's at their gate, they'll be watching for us. A horrible, messy, ugly place. Too dark to keep bodies preserved and too hot to keep them from stinking. Oh, to be back in a cave in Datir. He wasn't fit to hold my crucible, much less carry on my work. He could barely even stand to cut open a warm corpse for study. I can't imagine the reason you came back in his well instead of mine. Probably some freak attunement transfer. Partial successes at best. They remember how to fight, but that's about all they're good for. Named them after an old nursery rhyme. Damn things are always moaning all the time. I thought it might shut them up to give them a name. You don't remember it? Well, why dredge up the past? After all, you're fine now, aren't you? You're not the type to hold a grudge, right? You were my assistant in the well, and a damned good one at that. Octian hired you personally. said you were especially resourceful, and left it at that. I didn't know anything about you before you worked for me, and I knew better than to ask. You never talked about yourself, but you were terrifying, okay? You were the coldest, most terrifying thing I've ever met. You wouldn't have threatened me like this. You would have just stabbed me to death and looted my corpse. Seriously, I saw you do that to people. Often. Here. You left this in your room before you died. Take it. Just please don't kill me. We were in Alabastra, and I never thought it'd be dangerous. At least, not very. Oh, don't give me that look. Accidents happen. You can't make an omelette without leaving a few corpses. Fine. We were collecting Prismere in Alabastra. We needed it to power the well, of course, and you got a wild idea to track down the source of the power. I tried to stop you. I really did. But you decided to sneak into Amethyst, and I wasn't about to get killed along with you. I spent days trying to get your corpse back, but to no avail. Much as I hate to admit it, I should thank Hughes for succeeding where I failed. Octane, the man lacked vision. Can you believe all he wanted was his own personal immortality machine? Such a narrow-minded goal for a Templar. Still, he wasn't squeamish about what had to be done in order to develop the well. I suppose he paid well, too, if you'd consider that any reason to pursue the sciences. We needed tremendous quantities of Prismere to fuel the well, but it's almost unheard of outside of Alabastra, so we had to sneak in to gather our own. My name is Ventrinio Dessalini, and I am Professor Emeritus Abscondus of Post-Mortem Studies at the Odessa University. Of course, that was all before I began work on the Well of Souls. Such an important undertaking doesn't leave much time for other pursuits, you know. The Well of Souls is a noble project. Yes, sacrifices have been made. Laws have been broken. People have died. And they will continue to die. Don't you see? That's exactly what I'm trying to prevent. How many have died in this war? Thousands. The bodies are shoulder deep in the battlefields, but for trying to cure it, they call me a monster? Get going, and remember, don't go near Dren until I get there.
I'm sure we can trust Ventrinio, but I'll keep an eye on him. I'll stay here and keep an eye on Ventrinio. We'll meet you at the field of Huber, to the south. Sidon says the barrier into Alabastra is a result of a fae named Dren, the defender of pride, or so they say. All I know is that everyone who walks into that barrier falls to their knees and gets cut down if they don't get pulled back out. Everyone except Ventrinio. The House of Pride is a gateway to Alabastra. Until we can find a way through it, Gadflow can send his soldiers through. Mindless soldiers who fight without thoughts. Really just wild magic moving a corpse around. You got into Alabastra once. You can do it again.